Tell us a little bit about, because I've been saying all day that we're here not to talk to you just about business, but the person behind the business. Take us back to the younger Kiran. The younger Kiran and who she wanted to be. I think not many people know that you actually did a professional course in learning how to brew beer, that your life may have gone in a completely different direction. And now you're here leading this fantastic company, highly successful company. You're a billionaire. But this wasn't always necessarily life's plan. So tell us about the old days.
First and foremost, Barkha, it's always such a pleasure to be on We the Women, because I is amazing for women. And, just to answer your question, actually, when I was young, I never thought of starting a business, obviously. I actually first wanted to become a doctor. And when I didn't become a doctor, I went through, my zoology honors, and chemistry and biology were my main subjects. And after that, I decided to pursue a career in fermentation science, thanks to my late father, who said, why don't you go and do brewing? And I thought to myself, what an odd piece of advice for my father to give me. And in fact, I asked him, I said, why would you want your daughter to pursue brewing? And he said, because brewing is a fascinating science. Do you know it's one of the oldest biotechnologies known to man? I mean, you're so, besotted with biotechnology. This is what you should be doing if you want a career. So with that advice, I went to Australia. I qualified as India's first woman brewmaster. I came back thinking I would be snapped up because I was so qualified, but I was in for a rude shock. I think all the breweries I applied to in India said, this is not a woman's job. Sorry, we can't give you a job. And basically, the gender bias that I faced because of, the fact that brewing is, a very male-dominated sector, I couldn't get a job. And because I couldn't get a job,
why not? Like, what would happen? What would happen when you would explain, when you would go looking for a job? Please explain that. Like, what would happen?
So they would just say, yes, you're very qualified. We think you're very highly qualified for that matter. But, we can't risk, this brewery in the hands of a woman, because we don't think you can manage the labor unions. We don't think you can manage the kind of work schedules that brewing demands. And therefore, it is a big risk for us to have a woman in this kind of a position. And even though I kept pleading with them, saying, I have no problems, they said, we do. So unfortunately, I had no option but to basically then look for something else to do. And it was an accidental encounter with an Irish biotech entrepreneur that got me to start this company, Biocon, in 1978. So I often joke saying that it was a gender bias that created India's largest biotech company.
That's such a story that basically you convert rejection into opportunity. But when those rejections came your way, Kiran, how did you keep the faith? Like, how did you not get depressed? How did you not get deflated? The normal human tendency at that time would be to say, I'm so qualified. Why am I being discriminated against like this?
Well, I was obviously very angry and very despondent, but then I didn't let it get me down. I was, in fact, I retaliated with anger and with sort of a sense of resilience, saying, look, I'm going to show these people that I can run a business. And when I got this opportunity to start my own company, I thought, wow, this is one way I can show them how a woman can manage a business, how I can run a business. So it was that defiance and that sort of retaliation with which I basically started building Biocon. And obviously, I was very, very excited that I had this opportunity, and I was determined not to fail. So although I had another set of credibility hurdles when I started Biocon, because after facing one rejection from the brewing industry, I had to face a number of rejections from bankers. Because when I started my company, I only had 10,000 rupees in the bank. I had no business experience. I was 25 years old. And I was trying to start this strange business called biotechnology that nobody understood. So basically, again, it was all over again. And when I went to banks saying, listen, I need a loan, I need a bit of a credit line, they would say, they would take one look at me, they would look at the kind of business I was building, and they would say, look, it's too high a risk in all respects because you don't even have business experience, you don't even have collateral security to offer us. So please excuse us. So I went from bank to bank asking them for help, and nobody would help me. So again, I got the door shut in my face. And it was
Yeah.
one brave banker who took pity on me and said, okay, come, I'll give you a credit line. And that's how it started.
And how much was that credit line?
3 lakhs.
And from where to where? From where to where? What a fantastic story.